shortly after being resurrected. Future Gohan sends the arrival of a force more sinister than even the cyborgs that caused the destruction of Earth. However, this iteration of our hero has been training in Otherworld more or less since the day he was sent there. He made easy work of the biological android and showed no mercy to 17 upon Cell spitting him up. After having an emotional reunion with his mother, he, Bulma, and Dende, who was recently brought to Earth to become the new Guardian, went to the lookout to resurrect the rest of the Z Fighters. Unfortunately, Goku and Piccolo would be the outliers and not return to the world of the living, leading Vegeta to ask just what kind of adventures they got into in the afterlife. So, at Vegeta's request, Gohan started telling him about the years spent training in the Otherworld with his father and Piccolo. Of course, the prince wasn't allowed to keep his body. Otherworld, year 788, about 10 years before the last part of the story. South Kai approaches North to comment on his students' training. They never get tired, do they? He's been spoiled to have all these powerful warriors coming from his quadrant. Kaiosama smirks. Oh? It's been a while, South Kai. Does he have to remind him that the Saiyans were originally from his quadrant? Grunting at this, he replies that their powerful warriors were nothing more than genocidal maniacs. As you can imagine, none of them were granted access to Otherworld. Although, given the banishment of two North's proteges from the Otherworld tournament, Pikkon has decided not to enter given the lack of a challenge. Which means this time, his own quadrant has all the chances! To expand on this further, Piccolo and Goku got banned for reckless behavior. They endangered the totality of the Otherworld during their confrontation in the finals. In other words, they went all out. However, Kaio has to respond that it's been more than 10 years since they got banned. And even then, South Kai's quadrant didn't even win the last tournament. Plus, it seems like he's confusing Goku with his son Gohan, who has the right to enter. Something South didn't know. His son! Prompting his teacher to shout up at him if he'd be interested in entering the Otherworld tournament. Though, he actually isn't really curious about it. He's not as passionate about martial arts as his dad or Piccolo. The Namekian chimes in that it doesn't make sense to him, but Gohan mentioned that this is one of his last training sessions. He wants to instead become a scientist. He's been training non-stop since he died and never could have imagined how strong he's become. But he thinks it's time to do something that he really likes, which is studying. Somewhat surprisingly, King Kai doesn't have a problem with this. Although it's worth noting that the tournament is only 2 weeks away. He wouldn't even need to break a sweat to win. If he accepts, he'll introduce him to the greatest minds in the North Quadrant. Which sounds great to the Saiyan. In that case, he's down. Panicking. South stammers for the kid not to listen to him. The greatest minds in Otherworld are from his jurisdiction. If he declines to enter the tournament, he'll offer him a spot on his scientific delegation. And to King Kai, this sounds an awful lot like bribery. If he wants him to turn a blind eye, he should know that he very much so likes that red sports car of his, causing his colleague to curse him. He's not easy to bargain with. At Earth's check-in station.
Please kindly stay in line and follow the path to the gate.
Yama or Enma, whichever you like, is astounded at the amount of Earthlings in line today. What could be happening there again? Little does he know, this is exactly the time Cell made his appearance on our planet. And since Goku and his friends died, Earth has had its share of tragedies. He could send him down there for 24 hours so he could fix the problem. That would save himself a lot of work. One of his assistants comments that this sudden influx of Earthlings comes at quite a bad time. At this rate, their stock of empty evil energy containers won't be enough. The company that empties them once every century has delayed their pickup until next week. They'll send a technician to supervise the intern with the maintenance of the vats of the soul purging machine. Another directs a line of souls departing for hell, politely asking them to follow the path to the soul cleansing machine. Cutting to a third Otherworld ogre. He curses that he's always the one who gets bothered to do all the dirty work on the weekends, only hoping this kid's doing his job properly. Which, something about this looks really familiar. But the machine overflowing, It can't be! This idiot didn't change a single tank all day! Leading up to a particular transformation. Feeling the disturbance immediately, Yama and another ogre question what's going on. What was that enormous explosion? The latter believing it came from the soul cleansing machine. Sure enough, the supervisor from before comes barreling in, screaming that it's horrible. All of the evil souls have escaped the storage tanks. The others have fused into a humongous monster. What? So that would be the thing that's nullifying all of Yama's powers. Though it's too late to figure that part out. Whatever it is, it's here! Returning to our heroes, Gohan comments that it's been almost 3 years since his dad went away to train on his own. He was never clear on why he did that. Does he know? Huffing, albeit smirking at the question, Piccolo had thought that he'd figure it out on his own. Excited! He wants to know! He'd been training with him for more than 20 years. He's managed to catch up with him and even surpass him for a while. But he knows how his father is. He's a real genius. His demon pride takes a hit when he says this, but it's been a little bit since he considered himself a credible rival to Goku. It's worth noting that in this timeline, Piccolo and Kami never fused, which is why he looks at himself as more of a demon. He goes on to tell that some time before Gohan arrived here, Goku already told him that he wished to train on his own. Then when his son came here, it changed his priorities. His duties as a father took over as his main objective, and he saw it better to turn Gohan into a great warrior before returning focus to himself. Now that's been accomplished. But like Gohan himself said, fighting was already a necessity for him, not a choice. His dad understood that, and that's why he didn't insist him to come with, because he knows Gohan finally deserves to live in peace. Truth is, he and Piccolo were only slowing him down in chase of his goal, but Goku never admitted this as to not hurt their feelings. When the events at the check-in station finally make themselves known to the duo, what's up with all those key signatures? Piccolo already knows that's evil key at that. They shouldn't be allowed to enter Otherworld. This doesn't look good. They can also sense that this seems to be coming from the front gate. On top of all this, they can barely feel Yama's energy for some reason. There's no doubt Otherworld is in danger. They need to act. King Kai contacts him to not worry about Otherworld itself. He's already sent Tien, Krillin, Yamcha, and Chaozu to each quadrant to defend it the best they can. He doesn't know what's happening yet, but they need to go fix the situation with Yama. With their instructions understood, the situation must be critical, so they gotta hurry. Getting closer and closer, it's only now they see the front gate is currently unrecognizable. What the heck has happened here? Something they will learn soon enough. Spotting Yama, who has had better days, he quickly tries to give them the facts of what's happened. Happy to see him. Their soul cleansing machine exploded and released 100 years worth of evil souls. They need to free him from this barrier so he can use his powers. Otherwise, in less than 24 hours, all those evil souls will reach the living world. If they do, the balance of the whole universe will be broken, which will send it into chaos. And this seems simple enough to the pair. They just need to break the barrier. It shouldn't be a problem. Not even a scratch! Yama shouts that's no use. It's a magical barrier with astounding power. Strength alone won't break it. They need to find another way. The monster that created it is just above the front gate. And above them, laying eyes on it, the creature comes to a bit of a surprise. As it seems more childlike than evil, maybe they can just ask him nicely to take the barrier down. Floating over, Gohan kindly shouts over to the big guy that he's kinda putting all of Otherworld in danger. Can he please remove the barrier he put up? Though he only shouts his name and claps his hands. Turning back to Piccolo, he doesn't think he understands. Not realizing he needs to watch out! Bouncing off several jelly beans, Piccolo makes sure he's okay. He's gonna lure him down to hell. In the meantime, he can try to free Yama from this barrier. Hopping back to his feet, he agrees to the plan, but warns his friend to be careful. This monster is stronger than it looks. It has amazing power. Before realizing he might have been shaken up a little more than he thought. Claiming not to be as naive as Gohan, Piccolo bellows out that if he wants to play, to follow him. Another World's East Quadrant. Looks like Frieza's men are getting up to what they do. Dodoria spouts that Vegeta will pay for his betrayal. This time, he won't stand a chance against the both of them. Zarbon replies that the coward must be hiding somewhere. Tapping down, a voice informs that he's sorry to disappoint him, but he needs to send them all back to hell. Huh? Yamcha! He comments by the look of their outfits. He's guessing that they were part of Frieza's army. They look different than the ones he faced on Earth, referring to the henchmen of Mecha Frieza and King Cold had with him, also inferring that either a future Trunks or Goku didn't necessarily take on the threat immediately. Zarbon deduces that this guy must be an ally of that treacherous Frieza, seeing how he's an Earthling. A guess likely derived from Vegeta's association with Gohan and Krillin on Namek. He chortles that to consider Vegeta an ally would be an overstatement, though he did fight alongside of him years ago in the past. But for Dodoria, this is just a welcome treat. He could pay for him.
Take care of this bastard!
However, his reignited interest in training has certainly paid off. He eliminates every low-level soldier while barely even moving. He's already warned them. It's back to hell for them. But does he really think that they're impressed by so little? The Earthling is gravely mistaken. Those soldiers were nothing more than cannon fodder. He doesn't know who he's up against. He is Dodoria, a member of Frieza's close guard.
Be gone, vermin! I might have overdone it. This idiot didn't even see it coming. Ah!
Exploding his head with a single kick. Zarbon stammers to know how an Earthling like him defeated Dodoria in a single blow, who explains that his little friend was nothing extraordinary. It's that simple. Now it's his turn. His previous defeat at the hands of Vegeta doesn't appear to have done much to teach him humility. Zarbon admits that he is indeed stronger than he thought, but he will make him regret his overconfidence. Unlike Dodoria, he can transform. Cackling out at Yamcha's shocked expression, he's happy to see that he's finally realized his mistake. Although, he's just surprised at how ugly he became. Who stutters out and insecure?
Shut up!
This is the reason he only transforms as a last resort. He is the great Zarbon. This Earthling is going to pay for his insolence.
Now perish, scum!
As easy as that, East Quadrant has been secured. Oh, he has to think to himself. Dodoria, Zarbon. Come to think of it, he believes Krillin told him about him. Well, he would have thought Frieza's close guard would have been stronger. But someone else approaches and shouts, "You're right, Earthling. Frieza's army is full of slaves, weaklings, and egomaniacs." Revealing the Turles Crusher Corps, the titular leader continues that leaving Frieza's ranks was the best decision of his life. Since the Earthling's battle power is so incredible, how would he be interested in joining a real elite force? Who thought for just a moment that guy was Goku? Turles then takes a second to introduce himself by name and a free Saiyan warrior. So what does he say? Is he going to join him? In the North Quadrant. Chaozu's heterosexual life mate compliments him on his victory. There's none left. Although, he didn't expect to see the Saiyan's monsters in Otherworld. Tien only commenting that this can't be good.
Well, how we meet again?
Floating above, Nappa cackles, what a surprise! He's glad he followed the Cybermen. He would have never thought that he would stumble upon these insects again. So this is where the losers of their species go after they die, causing Chaozu to cower in fear. No, this is impossible. It's Nappa. His snickering persisting. Seeing their faces twisted in fear almost makes him feel nostalgic. Tien tells his friend to get it together. He mustn't let his memories overwhelm him. The time he came to Earth is long gone. Nappa isn't a threat to them anymore. And he's right. After all of their training, Nappa still hasn't improved a bit. While the little guy apologizes, Tien assures he can leave him to him. Overhearing this, the Saiyan screams out if they've gone crazy. Does he need to remind the both of them that they died by his hand? Ignoring the statement, the Triclops only responds that he'll never forgive him for what he did to them. It's time to pay! Taking him out in one attack, Tien grins that he'll see him in hell. Chaozu hovers over, exclaiming how awesome he is. He reminds that he too could have easily defeated him by himself. Just like with Yamcha. A new voice calls over to the pair that Nappa got what he deserved for not noticing the power gap between himself and the two of them. As Lord Slug grunts that the Saiyans really are a dumb race. In fact, he's looking to make one of them pay for his treason. The coward's name is Turles. Does it ring a bell? About here is where I think it's fair to start questioning if these movie villains ever cross paths with our heroes, or do they follow a different canon? South Quadrant.
That's for trying to stab me! And that's for breaking Gohan's neck! Don't worry, there's enough for everyone! Fastest in the universe! My ass!
Now back to hell with you guys! Oh, that was easier than I thought.
Bye-bye!
Speaking to himself, just to think, if Goku didn't show up on time to Namek, they would have been killed by these guys. Things sure have changed since then. Well, well, look who we have here! What a wonderful coincidence! Frieza and his father. He snarls that he's looking for Goku. If he tells him where he is, he promises not to let him suffer for too long. Cold adding that the Saiyan needs to pay for what he did to them on Earth, confirming our question from before. With Krillin terrified, Frieza suggests that maybe if he blows him to smithereens again, it'll make his little friend come out of hiding. Doesn't he think? Back in hell. Piccolo mutters that he's never seen such techniques. This monster can manipulate space and time to launch attacks from anywhere. Aside from that, he has the mind of a toddler. Distracting him shouldn't be much trouble. Firing off several blasts like fireworks, it seems to do the trick. The Namekian states that if he likes that, just wait until he sees the finale. Powering up the special beam cannon, he thinks he's gonna feel this one.
It's over for you.
With that explosion, that should fix things at Yema's. But that's weird. Its ki is still very weak. A lot of evil souls are still in Otherworld. Killing this thing alone seemingly wasn't enough.
What?
It can't be! It's still alive? How is this possible? Its ki has completely changed. What on earth is happening? As it morphs into something much more sinister. This is nothing like it was earlier. The pressure it's exerting is enormous. Having figured out that insulting the barrier is what breaks it, Yama urges Gohan not to stop. It's about to finally give. But what's this ki? What's going on down in hell?
I see.
Throwing down his weighted clothes, it's time to get serious. The real fight starts now. With many villains from the past returning, how will Krillin handle his encounter with Frieza? Have Turles and Slug already encountered the Z-Fighters in the past? Or are these completely new iterations of the Fiend? Last of all, where is Goku?